Hi and welcome to Home Culture. I'm Anna and in today's video we're going to be creating faux mercury glass. I've seen different tutorials on YouTube and Pinterest, but really the basic principle is the same. You need three things. You need a can of MERCURY spray paint. You need a bottle, a spray bottle of a mixture of vinegar and water, about a 50-50 ratio, and you need something to dab off the water droplets that you create. So these are the two items that I've used, an old sponge and a shop towel. I did read that you should be not using anything that's going to leave a pattern of some sort. Now this has a weave, so there is a pattern, and this has their little dots, little holes, so that would leave a pattern, but it didn't affect at all my end result. So really, I think you can use anything, probably an old t-shirt, an old rag that you have, paper towel, I don't know. I don't think it really affected much. Now, this is something, this project here, I've already done. So this is the most basic technique. What you do is you spray the outside first. So I had it upside down, you spray it first with the vinegar water, and then you spray on your mirror effect, then dab it off. That's it, honestly, that's it. Like, it's the simplest technique and use so little paint. Now in Canada, the spray can is about 20 bucks, but it goes really far because you really don't need to use too much. I think I did 2 different layers or applications on this and also on this one. And I really like the effect. Now this one is from the dollar store. This little glass container is from the dollar store. And it had like a yellowy, goldy tint to the glass. And this is what it looked like. This was clear glass and I poured a candle on the inside. So they do have some different coloring to them. And then this one right here is my favorite look. I find it to be the most dramatic and that's what I like. But the difference to this is that I spray painted the inside first. So I spray painted gold, black, and brown on the inside, and then I did the effect on the outside. When you're spraying on the inside, it really doesn't matter what it looks like. Most of it's gonna cover it up. It just gives it this lovely dramatic look. Now, see, here I have streaks. So if you don't want streaks, keep your item laying down. And the more vinegar you spray on first, the larger water droplets are gonna be. So the more of the underside that you're going to see. So if you spray painted a black, you'll see more of the black. And today's project, which I'm excited to try, are these 3 right here. So this one, this is a Bath & Body Works candle that we added a little knob to the top, and it's become my Q-tip container. So I'm gonna do this effect to it. I'm just going to spray paint the outside, dab it, and ta-da, that'll be it. So this one's super basic. This one, I'm going to do the more dramatic effect. So I'm gonna spray paint the inside and then the effect on the outside. But I wanna do more gold than black. I wanna see how that looks, and I think that'll be nice for different rooms, and I think it kind of look cool for Christmas. I know it's really early to think about Christmas. And then this last one, this is a technique I haven't tried at all. It's you spray the inside first with the paint, and then you do the vinegar, and then you wrap your finger in paper towel and you pull apart the paint. You're kind of like ripping it to kind of give it like this old antique look. So I'm gonna try that out. No clue if it works. I've never tried it, but we'll give it a shot. There is a third effect that I've seen, a third technique that I've seen, and I just didn't like it. It's where you spray your vinegar first on the inside instead of the outside. You do the inside first, and then you spray the mirror effect, and then you dab on the inside. Now this one would be easy to do that with because I can get my hand in there, but I feel like it would still like trying to get this sponge in here, I would be mushing it all over, and I really feel like it would just make a mess. And I don't like all the results I saw when they did the inside and said, it just didn't look the way I would like it to look. So I'm not even gonna bother with that technique because it's not something that interests me. You can go ahead and give it a go. I just think that it looked difficult and kind of messy and didn't give a good enough result that was worth the effort. That's enough of me talking. Let's go downstairs into the shop and actually do this. got my Upcycled Bath & Body Works candle, and I have a Febreze bottle that I've filled with the vinegar and water ratio. So this is what you do. Spray on your lovely mixture. Now, the more you spray, the bigger water droplets, and then that will give you just a different look. I'm liking this. I don't want to go too much more because I know it's going to start to run. I don't really want this one to be runny. So, mask on, let's spray paint. It did run a bit here. Well, that's how it goes, art, right? And I'm dabbing. I really like how the bottom turned out, and the sides, I could use a little bit more. So let's dab it off a little. So, spray again. And dab. And that is that. Now this isn't really pronounced. It's really subtle. I might want to do another go around, but I'm going to let it dry while we do some of the other ones. All right. Now I'm going to do the one that I call the more dramatic effect. I'm going to be using a gold paint and a brown paint. I wanted to focus more on the gold, so I'm going to start with that one. There we go. So it's definitely, you can see more of the black, well, the brown around this little hump, but kind of looks cool like that too, but that's not the look we're going for. So I'm gonna let that dry. So this vase is dryish, and I'm ready to try giving it a nice coat of something that resembles faux mercury glass. Mask up. A little bit of misting with the vinegar water. I think I'm ready to flip it over. Mask up. I'm also going to do the inside because I can see it. Like if it was just sitting on a table, I would be able to see that. I think I got it all the way around. So as I'm dabbing it, it's removing a bit of the spray paint. You can actually see it on here. So it's removing the silver or the mirror effect and leaving you with whatever your underneath is, giving it that vintage old look. Now, mercury glass is a really old technique, but it was never anything that was really expensive. It still isn't, but it's a cool one. I think I do love how it looks. Ooh, actually looks kind of cool. It dries really quick, so I'm not scared of touching it already, but look at that. Now, it's a bit too gold for me. I should have kind of went a little less on the gold, so I'm gonna do another layer. So, again, vinegar, inside, out, and spray paint. This is a fun project because you don't have to be precise, you don't have to be even artistic. You just have to be able to spray and dab, which, I mean, anyone can do this. Just be careful when you're dabbing not to smush. I kind of smushed there. But if you want something vintage looking, imperfections, I mean, that's why doing vintage stuff is fun, because imperfections are exactly what you're looking for. Okay, and now the inside. Now it looks very different on the inside because I spray painted over spray paint. Remember how I mentioned that it doesn't work on other finishes, only really works on glass? I can see why. It looks completely different on the inside. I'll get a close-up in a bit of what that looks like to show you. Let's get my sponge out and just dry it right off. Now it dries so fast. I don't know if it's the spray paint that dries fast or if it's because I'm doing the vinegar and water and dabbing. I haven't tried just spray painting something silver. Maybe I will come up with a project where I do that and I'll find that out. And here we are. Looks kind of cool. And then the inside looks completely different. It looks, I mean, it doesn't look bad, it just looks very different. It's definitely not, you wouldn't call that mercury glass at all. But that's what this looks like. I like this one. So now we're gonna jump back to one of the other projects and check in on them. So this one's dry, but I think it needs one more coat. Oh, this looks way better now. I'm going to attempt this pulling effect, and we're going to spray paint with the mirror effect. The interesting thing with the mirror effect is when you spray it first, it comes like milky-ish, and then as it dries, it gets shinier, which is kind of cool. But here we go, let's spray the inside and see how it looks. Okay, and you're supposed to let that dry for 60 seconds. All right, I've let it dry for more than 60 seconds. It has like some weird, it's like crackling a little and it's dripping. Kind of looks a bit like a mess, but let's go on to the next step. I'm gonna wrap my finger in paper towel, and they said nice and tight so your finger doesn't touch so the dangling paper towel doesn't touch the other side. Got that part figured out. I'm gonna spray. And let's start pulling. Let's see. I wouldn't say it pulls, I would say it just wipes it right off. Nope, it's just, definitely is just wiping off. So don't think this pulling effect really, well, it doesn't work for me. I will try dabbing. Let's see how that looks. I don't know about this technique. You know, I'm gonna give it one more shot. I'm gonna spray paint again. Nice light coat, let it dry-ish, and then try again. It looks terrible, honestly, it looks terrible. Let's try pulling again. Sometimes
times it looks cool, and other times, well, most of the time it just looks terrible. It doesn't really look like much, so I think what I want to do is spray paint the inside, but I don't want to spray paint the outside, so I'm going to tape it up, put it in a bag, and go to town on that. This is what it looks like. This is the spray inside technique with the pulling to kind of break apart the paint. I don't like it. I just don't think it does. And it looks like it's spray painted twice. I mean, great. Even spray painting the inside with the dark to contrast it doesn't do anything. I don't like this technique. I prefer spraying the outside, and that's just what I'm going to continue doing. I'm just going to take this and change it up later.